What is going on, gamers? It's your guy RuneScape coming at you with one more Leagues video here. Now, I know I just made one of these last week, but I am a content creator, which means I have to milk these things for absolutely all they're worth until everyone's totally sick of seeing this. So we've got one more in store for you. And in my last video, I left off with how I kind of feel a little lost with all the different things I could be grinding and all of the goals out there. So in this one, I thought I'd give my suggestions on how to make Leagues 5 the best we've ever seen, absolutely outclass anything we've seen before, and really capture the slightly slower pace of grind. The real flaw with Leagues, of course, being that everything is so accelerated. So I thought we'd kind of turn that on its head. Check out, we're going to go through the same format as Leagues 4, Relics, tasks, etc., but I've got some major improvements coming in. Let's kick it off by checking out the Relics. Now, we're going to have tiers, same as before, but I've got some improvements for basically all of these things. Keep in mind, you're going to want to pick more than one of these because they're all so great, but we're going to go through the same concept where you've only got one that you can have. I'm sorry, I know you'll want them all, but you got to make some decisions somewhere on the line. So let's kick it off with tier 1 out here. We've got a very tempting option here as our very first relic. You've heard of Endless Harvest in Leagues 4. Now you've heard of Autistic Harvest for Leagues 5. Now before we get into this relic specifically, our tier 1 passive effect, what I'm thinking about here is set all skills to level 99, max total immediately on starting Leagues, and then make the experience you generate negative so that you actually work your way down to level 1. This will cure the issue with having too much to do, because as you progress further, you actually lose options. Wonderful, I know. Now, specifically Autistic Harvest, what you're looking at here is anytime you gather a resource from anything, once you get one of those items, it's going to break your interaction with that object and make it so you need to click again. As you can see with fishing right here, pulled some raw anchovies, lovely. Emulating what would happen here, that would make us stop fishing as soon as we see those, and we'll need to click again. This is going to create a lot more interaction. Make sure only the grindiest of grinders have any shot at Dragon Tier. I know it's a good one, but Tier 1 has some other solid options, and it's going to be a hard choice, so let's check those out too. Next up, our second option for the Tier 1 Relic is our Processing Relic Production Challenged. This one is going to change it so that any action that processes item is going to be now manual and one at a time. Think making potions, cooking, fletching. Runecraft, in that one, you're going to need to manually use each essence on the altar one at a time to gain experience. Lovely, I know. You can see me demonstrating how this would work in the background right now. It's a pretty straightforward concept. Going to generate a lot more interaction with your client and bring out those grinds that are just too accelerated in the current leagues. I really like this one a lot. This might be my personal pick, but it is a tough call, as we've seen, and we've got one more to even go through in Tier 1. Now our last option for Tier 1 here is going to be Jester. Much like Trickster here, this is a bit of a jack of all trades, miscellaneous effects for various skills. So with Thieving, you're going to have a maximum of 1 coin pouch, and we'll demonstrate how that would work in the background. Agility, if you should fail an obstacle, you're going to get hit for your maximum HP, straight back to Lumbridge with you. When you burn logs, they will burn you back. Let's call that 5 damage per log that you're burning. And then, of course, as you are hunting, there's going to be a 50% chance that your traps will disintegrate as soon as you catch an animal, so you'll probably be needing a few extra of your hunter supplies. Extend those grinds out, I think, appropriately. So it's going to be a tough call, I know, but let me know of those 3 options, which one you like the most, which would you pick in your Tier 1, and let's advance on up to Tier 2. Now, much like in Leagues 4, Tier 2 for us is going to be all about revolutionizing how you get around the map. So, of your 2 options, the first here is Muggle. Your passive effect, regardless of which way you go, is that run energy is going to be permanently disabled. You can only walk anywhere you want to go now. Shout out name of this channel. And for the Muggle specific relic, you are not going to be able to use law runes anymore. No teleports that require law runes, so, all of them. That's it. And you also don't trust any enchanted jewelry. Get that magic shit away from me, you know what I'm saying? Now, the other option for our transportation relic here, you also don't trust things, but in this one, you pick racist. So, you are not going to use any transportation networks run by anything other than a human. That leaves essentially just charter ships, but fairy rings, don't trust them. Dwarven minecarts, I don't know about that. Spirit trees, And those are gnomes, anything non-human is out. Now moving right on up into tier 3, this is another tough option between two great relics. First off, we've got currency correction. This is going to say any shops that normally take GP are only looking for Toggle now. Get ready to fight Jad a lot. And the price per item is set as if the stock were depleted, so you're going to be paying the worst rates possible. Really force people to appreciate the store-bought items they're getting and determine what it's worth shelling out cash for. Other option here is inventory related. It's all about bringing some more realism into our inventory space. If you have several instances of one item, you have to pay several inventory spaces. Just makes sense. You want to hold 10 coins? 10 spaces, gone. This extends further as well to the icons of items, say like willow logs, that shows 3 logs. It's going to be 3 inventory spaces. It just makes more sense. This is again a very tough option. I think I'd probably have to pick inventory realism myself. And there's no passive related to tier 3 because I couldn't think of one. Sorry. Now tier 4 is the real game changer relic in Leagues 4. It's where you choose your combat specialization. I myself went with melee, which is why I'm able to murder these stupid ass Necreal. No problem, one hitting them, cake. Anyway, tier 4, it's all about changing up the normal combat that we're used to, the point and click system, really making it different and enjoyable. So I thought, following that vein, what would be a better option than tier 4 being the evolution of combat? Now this is the only option at this tier, so it's kind of the passive effect in and of itself, but it follows that same vein of getting rid of the silly point and click kind of stuff we usually do, and bringing in one of RuneScape's most beloved updates. Tier 4, EOC hits, you can't change it, just like it was in reality. So tier 5 is where we're going to break the mold a little bit here and not mirror Jagix's relics as much, but instead have some of my own unique ideas. It's also where this video is really going to go off the rails, so buckle up for that. Now, we're going to be applying some sort of effect to you with tier 5 that's seen somewhere in the game, but now that's going to be universal and stay with you forever. So your first option here is Pestilence. That's going to be eternal poison. There is no cure for this one, sorry. 10 damage per hit splat, and every 15 seconds you're going to catch that damage. Other option here, Divine Pain. It's all about lowering your prayer. You're going to get that Barrow's Prayer Drain effect applied to you no matter where you are, complete with the pink ghosts and all to boot. And then last but not least, your third option here is going to be Eternal Darkness. That's the darkness overlay you see in, say, the Lumbridge Caves when you have no light source, and we'll also throw on the beetle chip damage there as well for an extra little effect. Now, no matter which of these 3 you go with, you're going to have a 25% chance to fail an offensive attack and rebound the damage back into yourself. Any of these will really switch up the bossing meta and I think make for some interesting content. I'm excited to see what people do with these options. I guess we'll just have to wait and see when Leagues 5 releases. Here we go, tier 6. Now this is going to be our final tier for our suggestions to make Leagues the greatest it's ever been. And the theme here is going to be keeping you on your toes. So there's 2 choices for your final relic in Leagues 5. The first being Seekers, and that is going to distribute these Sorceress Garden elementals throughout the entire world map and have them patrolling, so you'll need to stay out of their line of sight. If you do happen to be caught, you will be teleported instantly to the back of Tolna's Rift dungeon and have to run back to wherever you were. Now, alternatively, if you don't want to constantly be worried, you could pick the Terror Snail. And this one, there's only one, and it moves a little slower, so it'll be more manageable. But there's going to be a Mortmire Snail that follows you wherever you are in the map. It'll make steady progress towards you. And if it happens to touch you, your account is instantly deleted. So, less issue, but much higher risk. What choice are you going to make here? That's up to you. Now, to make this a little tougher, once you hit tier 6, everyone's going to be put into the same game server. There will be only one world, so that'll be heavily overloaded and very laggy, making it even more difficult to avoid these things. And that'll pretty much do it. There you have my suggestions for Leagues 5 relics to make it the best it's ever been. If you feel that there's some awesome relics out there, good ideas that you have which I missed, I'd love to hear in the comments below what you would add to make Leagues even better. And let me know what progression you would go for with the 6 tiers that I've laid out. Jagex, if you're watching the video and you want to offer me a position as a JMod after hearing these great ideas, I totally get that, and I would accept. Other than that, I don't have anything more for you in this one. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you've been enjoying leagues, and I hope you're looking forward to the next one even more. I'll see you next time.